Is Michel Barnier a fossil, or is he somebody who can bridge the political divide?
Well, he's certainly someone who has a lot of experience, of political experience, of administrative experience, of experience in France, but also in the international level. He was foreign minister. He was very involved, as well as was said, at the EU level, particularly with the negotiation with the UK. So I would say he's a safe pair of hands, and that's going to be needed in the current political situation in France, where he will have to face a fragmented parliament, a divided country, a fragmented country. So the challenge ahead of him is absolutely huge. And, I don't think he was Macron's first pick, but certainly he's both compatible with Macron as president, but also, as I was saying, with this very fragmented and difficult political situation. So in the end, he was probably the best pick to handle the current situation.
And of all the challenges ahead of him, would you say the first big test will be the budget in October?
Well, yes, but there will be a test probably before that, because his first task will be to put together a program of government, a legislative program, and he will have very short time to do that, and he will have to present it to Parliament. And this is going to be the first big test, because some political parties might want to have a vote of no confidence in the new government, and he will have to overcome this. So there will be a test very, very quickly in Parliament to see if the Barnier option is a viable one for the next few months. And then, of course, the budget is going to be a very important milestone. There is also very little time to prepare a budget. And the constraints also on France on this are huge because of the public finance deficit. This has been pointed out by the European Commission. France is under pressure to sort its public finances. And this is going to be a very difficult thing to do, facing a fragmented parliament and quite simply no majority so far to vote on that budget. So a very, very difficult situation ahead for Barnier.
What impact do you think it might have on UK-French relations?
So Barnier obviously knows a lot about the UK. He knows the Brexit agreement inside out. I think he will definitely have a view on what's next. And, he was one of he had quite a hard line on Brexit because, he was defending the EU position, obviously, and the French position to some extent as well. But he was also advocating during the Brexit process about pragmatic ties with the EU, with the UK, for example, defense and security. And this is, I think, something that can very much happen in the coming months. And this is something that the current Labour government wants as well. So there will be a lot to discuss between him and the British Prime Minister. But I think it's fair to say as well that relationship with the UK is not going to be the priority for Barnier. He will have a lot on his plates domestically. Macron is also going to have views on these things because the president is going to be quite influential in foreign policy and European policy. So it's not just Barnier who's going to decide on these things, and the UK is definitely not going to be very high on his list of priorities.
And in terms of balancing both sides, his comments in the past on migration may alarm some on the left within France, but in terms of the right, we've seen a cautious welcome in the last few minutes from those on the right. But will they also be concerned? Because I wonder if he becomes more prominent again in French politics, potentially, could that take some more of the moderate right-wingers away from the far right and towards his party?
I think that is certainly the political calculation behind it. But what I would say is the difficult situation is that Barnier doesn't have a clear majority in Parliament. And the question over the past few days was not who the political parties would support for Prime Minister. It was who they would not reject. And that makes a big difference. And that kind of make Barnier quite a weak Prime Minister, frankly. And that is going to be a big challenge for him in the coming months. But yes, I think he will also have in mind this idea to rebuild the centre right, because this is where it comes from politically, away from the far right. And we can expect him to take quite tough stances on issues like immigration. He did that in the past, to be honest, when he was running for president a few years back, and also during the Brexit negotiations. So yeah, I think the relationship between the centre right and the far right is going to change, and he will try to change that with his leadership of the government. But again, he will have to deal with a lot of different political parties in parliament, and he won't be able to only focus on the centre right and the far right. The left bloc, the left wing alliance, is going to be a huge headache for him going forward.